All right, welcome back. I'm still in the studio now with Mr. Lucky Obinya, former House of Representative candidate. He's still speaking on the issues of post-election propaganda and bickering amongst parties and political actors. Let's kick off from where we stopped. We were speaking about what Peter Obi brought different to the political scene in respect to what we're still seeing and the characters in the APC, as you said.
Yes, you know, what we have in this country, when you're running for the office of the president, the most coveted seat on the land, you must possess three factors as an individual. One, you must have the financial muscle and know when to flex this muscle. And the person in His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi, together with the other three principal contenders for the office, that's the PDP Atiku Abubakar and that of Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the three of them had this financial muscle, and Mr. Peter Obi knows when to flex his own financial muscle, and Nigerians know how he got his money. Secondly, you must have access to the machinery of the state. The three individuals have access to the machinery of the state. One of them, that of the APC, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is a governor of Lagos State, past governor and the past former senator. That of the PDP, Atiku Abubakar, is a former vice president of the country, while the Labour Party presidential candidate, Mr. Peter Obi, also was a former governor of a state, a two-term governor. So the three of them also have this factor in common. There is no door within the corridors of power these individuals will bump at that they will not be given a listening ears, or that door will definitely be open for them. So they have access to the machinery of the state. Because take it or leave it, there are people who control this country. And you must get to the elitist class before you can pull the string to most of these doors. Then lastly, which was the principal rallying point on the Labour Party presidential candidate, has to be your antecedent must be the benchmark to measure your competence for that office. That was what he had that superseded the others. He was able to tell Nigerians and sell himself, marketed himself so well to the extent that he uses a term, go and verify. And that was how he was able to sell himself before the Nigerian people. His antecedent while in office, there was nothing that had to do with linking him to corruption charges. He was never invited by any of the anti-graft agencies, and the superlative performance in office while he was in office. All of these are in the public domain, and Nigerians had long been looking for an individual of this magnitude. So his incursion into the Nigerian political setup actually changed the entire dynamism of the entire process of the 2023 general election, coupled with a Yakubu Mahmood that will go to Chatham House and promise the world that there is a technology in Nigeria that will be used to transmit the result right from the polling unit to their cyber, directly to their cyber and all of that. They even went further to propagate and orchestrate a law, infused it in the electoral system, amended the electoral system. And that kept raining confidence, drumming confidence to the ears of Nigerians. Wherever Mahmoud goes, he said it over 100 times, and his spokesperson, Festus Okoye of the commissions, said it to Nigerians over 100 and something times as well, that this time around, the election, the vote of Nigerians was going to count. And they had a series of by-elections that could have given credence to that. And that went further to instigate, reunited confidence within the Nigerian people. You saw the upsurge of the registered voters in the country. At a point, it got to 93 point something million, 93.6 million, if I'm not mistaken, or 94.6 million. Now, what that tells you is that the entire West African states within the West African sub-region, you have 15 member states, which Nigeria is inclusive. 14 out of that 15 member states is just 74.3 million. Total number of voters registered within these 14 countries, about 74.3%. What that tells you, what that tells you is that the 93 or 94.6% of million Nigerians that registered, that is like when Nigeria's election, when it was being conducted, it's like the entire West Africa is the one conducting an election because the figure supersedes that. Who made that happen? Is the incursion of the Labour Party presidential candidate, the dynamism he brought, the decency he brought. He made it to understand that campaign is supposed to be based mainly on issue-based, not to malign the character of individuals, like what we witnessed from some of the political parties, more especially the ruling APC. To every rally they went, all was to insult the presidential candidates of the both other political parties and all of that.
So that's the main issue now.
Yes.
Are we going to, expect this? One of the complaints we saw with people towards the PDP is that they felt the PDP wasn't doing enough opposition. Now that we are seeing this, are we expecting that we'll see this constant bickering for the next 4 years? Is it in the best interest of democracy? Before I answer that, let me quickly take this call. All right.
Hello.
Yes, good afternoon. You are on to the Polity on Kaftan TV. What's your name? What's your
not insulting everybody. You're talking about the political party. You should not insult other political parties.
what's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Mr. Okeokwawara. I'm calling from Delta State.
All right.
Insult all political parties. You should talk about the own political party. Election has come and gone. You should stop causing problems to the masses.
All right. Who are you speaking about specifically? Let me get it correctly.
It's causing more problems to the masses.
Who are you referring to?
Your guest.
Okay. All right. Thank you for calling.
Your guest. They're talking about the Labour Party.
Okay.
There's many political parties.
Okay.
More problem are creating.
All right. Thank you for calling. I guess he's saying you shouldn't mention other parties. But anyway, if you can go ahead with the question, please.
Yeah, let me quickly respond to the caller. You see, there is no how you can talk about a particular political party without mentioning. I think so far, if he actually has been following the trajectory of our discussion, he will discover that I have not actually maligned any political party, apart from the ruling APC that has performed abysmally, woefully. What APC has done to this country in the last 8 years, they have given the Nigerian people a complete disservice in terms of administration and democratic delivery or dividends to the Nigerian people. Nigerians will attest to the fact. You can put it into context. I'm not a PDP man, but as at the time the PDP were handing over government to this current administration in 2015, what was the price of fuel as at that time? What was the pump price of fuel? What was the exchange rate of the naira to the dollar? As at that time, how much was a loaf of bread and how much is it today? How much was PMS, kerosene and all of that, and how much is it today? Under this administration, it was under this administration we had a series where Nigerians began to buy money with their own money due to an inefficacious policy of the Central Bank of Nigeria. Under this administration by May 29 will be handing over 77 trillion total debt profile. By May 29, you can fact check me on that. They will be handing over a 77 trillion debt to the incoming administration. How much was the debt as of 2015 when they took over the reins of governance? They met this country, the poverty level in this country, the Nigerians that were plunged into poverty as at that time was 100 million Nigerians were plunged into poverty, and they promised to remove majority of those Nigerians, but rather they ended up adding 33 more million, making 133 million Nigerians, seeking them further into poverty.
All right, let's from this caller. All right, good afternoon. Can you hear me? Hello. Good afternoon. Please turn down the volume of your TV set. Turn down the volume of your TV. Turn down the volume of your TV, please.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
What is the name, please?
Hello. think we lost the call there. I think that was a woman. It's always rare for us to get those. But for a lack of time, if we can quickly get to that question, regardless of what happens with the tribunal, perhaps it is flipped, perhaps the president-elect is no longer the person who doesn't serve the term, and the reverse is the case. Whoever comes into power, the question is, what is the expectation in terms of holding the government accountable? Will we be seeing propaganda, or will we see actual opposition that will hold everyone accountable? Let's take this final call before we move on. Yes, good afternoon.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
2016, when Buhari take over administration, there's nothing like a loan to farmers. In 2016, not like 1,000 Nigeria gives rice farm loan, fish farming, cattle area. What Obama does 2001 to 2003, nothing. And they didn't make use of the money. Why are you blaming this administration?
All right, please round up quickly. We have a little time left. All right, I guess he's still trying to make a case for this administration, but we have to move on. We just have about 3 minutes left. So please, if you can do justice to that last question.
Yes, like you were saying, you already have a snippet of what is to come from this incoming administration that has been illegally forced on the Nigerian people. What you see today is a premonition. You don't even need a soothsayer or a babalawo or anybody to put you on the know on what is to come. The attack dogs of the PCC, of the APC, are already churning out their fangs, attacking anybody that comes against this government. Today, I dare to ask some of the APC party chieftains today, where is the president-elect ever since he was declared? Where is he? They should tell Nigerians. By now, in any clan, in any organized, or in any country in the world, when you have a president-elect, he is supposed to be receiving visitors, trying to work with the current administration on how to transit power. Right. As we speak today, where is he?
Right.
But they ask him to go and relax somewhere in one place. Why they here? Why they remain here to create confusion?
Let's end with this. Good afternoon. What's your name and where are you calling from? Good afternoon. Can you hear us?
Hello.
Good afternoon. We can hear you. Please turn down the volume of your TV so we can hear you better. All right, we lost it. We've run out of time now, so so sorry about that. But thank you so much for coming. Thanks for your thoughts. Hopefully we see some development positive in the way we interact with one another. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Amadi, for having me.
So that's how we end the program today. Do join us weekdays 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. For the calls we couldn't take, do make sure to call us tomorrow and through the course of the week as we progress to the next or the closest election cycle, which is that of the Kogi State and Imo State. We'll be bringing you more updates in that regard. Thanks so much for joining us. Join us for the rest of the week. I'm Amadi Nogbewe. Bye for now.